Well, hello and welcome back. Thanks for coming back. Where am I? Sitting on top of a mountain. Well, it is a hill. It's called Taller. Do you want to see the view? Not a bad view. Between the little trees and over those rooftops, that's the blue Mediterranean Sea. Of course, we're looking down on Kisoniga and Clorica. And great view, great place to come and live, by the way, Taller. Perhaps if you're thinking about moving to Cyprus, it's one of the #1 places for expats of all nationalities to move to. It's a proper hodgepodge. You've got British, you've got Germans, you've got Russians, Ukrainians, Swedish, Norwegians. Yes, lots of people live in Taller. So, how do you move to live in Taller? That's the topic of the conversation today. Perhaps you want to live somewhere else in Cyprus, but how do you come to live in Cyprus? That's what we're going to talk about off the cuff if you want to come and live here. If you are an EU national, obviously it's not a problem. All you do is get on a plane or a canoe, or perhaps drive. Well, you can't drive, can you? But you could drive to Greece and then get on a ferry and come from Greece to Limassol in the summer. Anyway, once you're here, all you've got to do is go and register, and then that's it, you're part of Cyprus. But if you are British, should we say, most of the viewers are British, aren't they? And you want to come and live in Cyprus, a little bit more complicated because 1 or 2 people in the UK voted for Brexit. I don't think those people understood what they were doing when they voted for Brexit, but again, that's another topic, isn't it? That's another topic. Obviously, yeah, what can we say? So, you are British and you want to come and live in Cyprus. What do you do? Well, I'll tell you, it's not that difficult. Early in the morning, nice coffee there. Thank you very much, Baroness Crackpot and Baron Frank. Very, very kind indeed. So, you want to come and live here, what do you have to do? Well, there's a few ways to do it. Obviously, you can, perhaps if you want to get a job in Cyprus, you can apply for various jobs and you can get help and assistance then from the company that's going to employ you. But it's quite complicated. So the easiest way to come and live in Cyprus is to apply for what's called a Type F visa. What does that mean? Well, what it means is it's a visa that will allow you to reside in Cyprus for 12 months, then it's renewable. And the qualifications for that visa are, if you are a couple, for example, you would need to transfer £28,000 or thereabouts from outside of Cyprus. So if you're in the UK, perhaps you'd be transferring it from the UK to a Cypriot bank account. That's tick number 1. Tick number 2, when you're here, you would get health insurance. That starts off at around about €150 per person. So if there's a couple of you, there's another €300 or thereabouts of your money gone. You only have to have the most basic of health insurance, private health insurance. Number 3, well, you need to have obviously your passport, those kind of things, and you will need to have a police check in the UK to make sure that you've got no criminal record. If you've got that, that's it. It's as simple as that. When you arrive, you can go to the immigration services yourself and fill out all the paperwork, or perhaps get yourself an immigration lawyer who will probably charge you around about €500, €600, depending on how good they are. And that's it. You're pretty much done. Normally in about 5 to 6 weeks, you will receive your little plastic ID card, and then you are technically, isn't it, technically for 12 months, a member of the community of Cyprus. And of course, the following year, you renew and you renew. And the way I understand it, after 5 years, you then are pretty much a permanent resident. You can even apply for a Cypriot passport. But the criteria is a little bit tighter again, because when you're here, you're not allowed to work. Well, shall we say you're not officially allowed to work. In other words, you can't just walk into, I don't know, Papa Antonio's supermarket and get a job. Firstly, they can't employ you. And secondly, you're not allowed to work. So your income needs to be derived from outside of Cyprus, okay? Now, you can work online, obviously, because your income then would be derived from outside of Cyprus, because obviously your clients, your customers, whatever you're selling, you'd be selling somewhere else in the world and getting paid somewhere else in the world into a bank account, let's say in the UK, Jersey, wherever it might be, and then you transfer that income into Cyprus. So you have circumnavigated the rules of not being allowed to work in Cyprus. Obviously, if you're retired, that bit doesn't really bother you. So you can follow the same procedure, and that's the easiest and obviously the cheapest way to do it. Another way is obviously to buy a property, and currently you have to buy a brand new build property at 300,000 euros plus VAT, and then again 6 to 8 weeks you will receive your ID card, but again you are not allowed to work in Cyprus. So it's not as complicated as you think it is. It's not as difficult as you think it is. And there's a lot of people who say, oh, you know, it's not possible to go and live in Cyprus. It's not possible to go and live in Europe anymore because of Brexit. Perhaps that's because those people wanted it that way. But I think most of them didn't. I think I've met a lot of people who voted for Brexit and then decided they wanted to go and retire to Cyprus or to Spain or to Portugal, and realised that it had become that little bit more complex. We all make mistakes, don't we? We all do. We all do. So to refresh on it again, you need approximately, for a couple, let's say you are 2 people and you want to come and relocate to Cyprus, you need £28,000, or access to £28,000, shall we say, that you can transfer into a Cypriot bank account. You need health insurance, around about 150 euros-ish each. You'll get different quotes from different companies. Obviously, I did see a company the other day advertising at 129 euros for 12 months of health cover for foreign nationals. The average is about 150, 160, and that covers you for 12 months. Obviously, it's very, very limited cover that you can get, but you have to have it in order to tick that box. And like I say, to readdress the things you have to have again, a clean police record in the UK that you can get from obviously a police station. It takes 3 to 4 weeks, so I'm told. You will need that, and passport. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And a rental contract address in Cyprus, or a property perhaps that you own in Cyprus. You've ticked all the boxes, and then they're going to give you the right of stay, and you'll be here with no problems for 12 months, and then you just renew it and continue to renew it. Now, there is another way, based on the same rules. You still need your passport, you still need your health insurance, you still need the clean police record from the UK. But of course, you could actually, see, the criteria of the 28,000 is that that's enough money for you to live for the year, or that's the way it's phrased to me anyway. Perhaps you'll correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But there is another way, and approximately they're saying that you need 2,500, so let's say 3,000 a month to be able to live in Cyprus as a foreign national. That's what they're saying. So there is another way. You could transfer 3,000 euros to yourself to cover that stipulation, and then you could send that money back, and then send that money back, and back, and back, and back, and back. And you could do that every single month. And of course, you have ticked the criteria of that box again that shows that you have an income of 3,000 euros coming in from outside of Cyprus. Now, I'm referring this to the British people, so probably that money would come from the UK, although not in the case of all of the people who are residing in Cyprus. Lots of people are working on oil rigs and those kind of things, so their money is paid offshore somewhere, shall we say, Dubai or wherever it might be. So they're transferring their money in from Dubai to Cyprus. But the point of the matter is, the income has to come in from outside of Cyprus, whether that's the UK, whether it's Dubai, Switzerland, Sweden, Abu Dhabi, wherever it might be. The money has to come from outside. And that is how you circumnavigate what they call working in Cyprus. Remember, you can't work in Cyprus. Well, you can't work in Cyprus officially. And anywhere in the world, there are people working unofficially, aren't they? Cash in hand, those kind of things. So don't be thinking that you can't work, because you can work. It's just that you've got to be very careful where you work and very careful what you do. You know, very popular in Cyprus, people set up pool cleaning rounds, window cleaning rounds, those sorts of things, isn't it? Which are cash in hand. Primarily they're working to other foreigners, and the other foreigners are happy with their service, so they pay their money. So yeah, I think you understand. Same all over the world. Much against governments. They don't like it, do they? But of course, that's another reason, isn't it, why the government wants you to transfer 28,000 or 3,000 in. They say it's to protect themselves from having to fund you. But it's not, is it? It's actually to know that there's a chunk of money in a bank, or a chunk of money coming in every month, that then you get to pay tax on. Yeah, and you will pay tax on it. Tax is very low, but you will pay tax. So the government gets their little piece of your money. And that's what it's all about, isn't it? Now, I must say, it's a bit chilly up in Tala today, to be honest. It's about, what time is it now? It is 8:25 in the morning, pretty early. I've been out and about since about 6 doing what I do. And I thought I'd have a coffee, and I thought I'd have a chat with you guys. But 14 degrees, oh my God. Might have to go and get a woolly hat or something. Might have to get it lined with those ear muffs that come down, because it's getting chilly. There's no doubt about it. Not that we're making fun of you guys in the northern hemisphere, as we say. Drop in the comments, what's your weather like? Lady Anna, my superstar, what's the weather like in Krakow in Poland? Baroness Crackpot in Glasgow, what is your weather like? Is it as bad as they say on the news, or is it not? I don't know. But I bet Baron Frank's looking after you, that's for sure. How's those two boys in downtown damp Cardiff? How's Baron Simon? How is Baron Jeremy? Have they recovered from the dreaded flu? I've got a bit of flu as well, bit of a sore throat, bit of a blocked up nose. But like I say, I thought I'd sit here and talk about immigration with you today. So don't be listening to people who say, oh, you can't do it. Because I hear this all the time. Oh, you know, it's not possible. You can't do it. You can't do it. You can do it. You can. If you really want to come and live in Cyprus, you can. So find yourself 28,000. That's the easiest way, because then there's no arguments then about whether the money's going to come every month. Just find yourself 28,000. Sell your car, sell your house, sell your cat, borrow it, whatever you have to do. Put it in a bank account, and that's the number one criteria. Go and get the health insurance. That's just a little tick. Get your passport, get your police report, fill in the papers, or get an immigration lawyer to do it for you. 6 to 8 weeks, you get your little card which says you're allowed to stay, and you just repeat the same exercise every year. That's simple. And you get to live on the island of love, and you get to sit in places like this in Tala, which is nice and calm and tranquil. You get that fabulous view. Do you want to see it again? Yeah? Look at that. Not bad, is it? And that's at 8:20 in the morning on the 3rd of December. Yeah, we're almost live. That's what we are, almost live with Mr. Paul, talking to you about various topics. So drop in the comments, what topic would you like me to talk about next? We talked about hiring a car. We talked a little bit about immigration. Do you want to talk about buying properties? Do you want to talk about rental properties? Do you want to talk about holidays? Do you want to talk about the price of coffee? Do you want to talk about mobile phones? There was a gentleman in the comments last night that asked, when he arrives in Paphos Airport, will he be able to buy a SIM card for his phone? Yeah, you will. You just come out of the Paphos exit, shall we say, come past towards the main entrance, and there is a kiosk. Go into that kiosk and you'll be able to buy a SIM card. The choices of SIM card for this gentleman, are CETA, PrimeTel, MTM, which is now called Epic, and there is another one, but I wouldn't bother with that one unless you're coming into Nicosia, and you're not if you come into Paphos, obviously. I would always choose PrimeTel. I've been with PrimeTel now for 6 years. I've got 4 SIMs, and I've never had a problem with PrimeTel, and they're always phoning me up and making a better deal without me phoning them up. And I've never had any loss of service. I always have really good internet. I used to be with CETA, they were a little bit, and I used to be with MTM, which is now Epic. but they've got better, so they say. And the other one is Cable Net, but not so good in Paphos. Perhaps good in Limassol. I know it's pretty good in Nicosia, so a little bit more information for you. So I'm going to say thanks for watching. If you like what you see, please hit the like, smash that subscribe button. Please keep on coming back and guide me. Tell me what you want us to talk about. Tell us where you want us to go, and we'll do our very, very best to make sure those videos come for you. If you want to keep the channel afloat, why not go and hunt us down on the Buy Me a Coffee platform. All you have to do is Google these magic words: Buy Me a Coffee, Marika and me. Up will come our landing page. Fingers crossed, you may gift us a virtual coffee or two. And like I say, Baroness Crackpot, Baroness Lillian, Baron Frank, thank you very, very much indeed, especially on these chilly mornings on the island of love in Uptown Teller. I'd also like to say a big, big shout out to two guys all the way in the south of France. They're coming back to Paphos very, very soon indeed, and they're coming here for the rest of their lives. If your name is Lord Analdo, Lady Sylvie, cheers, and I look forward to seeing you again very, very soon indeed. I'll leave you with the view. So this is the Teller Amphitheatre, and this is the little kiddies area, and then there's a car park in front of it, and there is quite a nice park if you want to have a little stroll around, and there's the odd table and the odd chair where of course you can sit down and have a chat. Simple as that. Thanks for watching.